7 types of quiet inflammation that damage senior health. If you're watching this, I want you to imagine something for a moment. What if some of the tiredness, stiffness, brain fog, or just getting older feelings you've been told to accept weren't actually normal aging at all? What if they were quiet signals, small, almost invisible signs that inflammation has been slowly damaging your body for years without you even noticing? In this video, you're going to discover 7 types of quiet inflammation that silently affect senior health, your heart, your joints, your memory, your energy, even your mood. And here's the important part. By watching all the way to the end, you'll understand which one matters most, why it's often overlooked, and what simple shift can change everything. You might already know some of this. It might even seem basic, but the results are out of this world. I'm speaking to you today not as a doctor in a white coat, but as a caring voice who understands what it feels like to wake up sore, move slower, or forget a word and wonder, is this just my age now? For Americans over 60, 70, even 80, quiet inflammation is one of the biggest hidden threats to independence and quality of life, and almost no one explains it clearly. So stay with me. Each type builds on the last, and the final insight will surprise you. By the end of this video, you'll see your health in a completely new way and feel more in control than you have in years. Quiet inflammation 1. Low-grade gut inflammation. Let's begin with the most underestimated one, low-grade inflammation in the gut. This type is quiet, slow, and deeply connected to how you feel every single day. Many seniors think gut problems only mean stomach pain or indigestion, but this kind of inflammation rarely announces itself that way. Instead, it shows up as fatigue that doesn't go away, bloating after simple meals, unexplained weight changes, or even anxiety that seems to come from nowhere. Over time, an inflamed gut allows tiny inflammatory signals to leak into the bloodstream. Doctors sometimes call this leaky gut, but what really matters is what it does to your whole body. For adults over 60, this type of inflammation can quietly weaken the immune system, increase joint pain, and even affect memory and focus. And here's the part that surprises most people. You can eat healthy foods and still have gut inflammation if your body no longer tolerates them well. You might already know that digestion slows with age. It might even seem basic, but the results of fixing gut inflammation are out of this world. When the gut calms down, seniors often report better sleep, clearer thinking, and more stable energy during the day. This is why we start here, because without a healthy gut, every other system struggles to heal. As we move forward, keep this in mind. Inflammation is rarely loud. It whispers first, and if you learn to listen early, you can change your future health in powerful ways. Quiet inflammation 2. Joint inflammation without swelling. When most people think about joint inflammation, they imagine swollen knees or painful fingers. But for many seniors, the most damaging joint inflammation happens without visible swelling at all. This quiet inflammation sits deep inside the joints, hips, shoulders, spine, slowly wearing down cartilage and reducing flexibility. You may feel stiff in the morning, slower getting out of a chair, or cautious when walking downstairs. It's easy to say, that's just aging, but very often it's inflammation quietly stealing your mobility. What makes this type dangerous is how sneaky it is. You may not feel sharp pain, just a dull ache, reduced range of motion, or the feeling that your body doesn't quite respond the way it used to. Over time, this can lead to loss of independence, fear of movement, and even falls. Many seniors avoid activity because movement feels uncomfortable, but here's the paradox. Gentle, correct movement actually reduces joint inflammation. The wrong kind of rest can make it worse. You might already know that exercise helps joints. It might even seem basic, but the results, when done correctly, are out of this world. Later in this video, I'll share the safest, most inflammation-reducing approach for senior joints, especially for those over 70 and 80. For now, remember this: pain is not the only signal. Stiffness is a message too. Quiet inflammation 3. Brain inflammation and senior brain fog. Have you ever walked into a room and forgotten why you were there, or struggled to find a word you know you've used your whole life? Many seniors fear this means memory loss is inevitable, but often the real issue is quiet inflammation in the brain. Brain inflammation doesn't cause pain. Instead, it slows thinking, dulls focus, and drains mental energy. It can feel like your mind is wrapped in cotton. You may feel less sharp, less motivated, or emotionally flat, and assume it's part of getting older. But the truth is, the aging brain is extremely sensitive to inflammation. Blood sugar spikes, poor sleep, chronic stress, and gut issues all feed into this problem. Over time, inflammatory signals cross into the brain and disrupt communication between neurons. This is why seniors with brain inflammation often feel mentally tired even after resting. It's not a lack of intelligence, it's inflammation blocking clarity. You might already know that sleep and diet affect memory. It might even seem basic, but when inflammation is reduced, the results are out of this world. Later in this video, I'll share the safest, most inflammation-reducing approach for senior joints, especially for those over 70 and 80. For now, remember this: pain is not the only signal. Stiffness is a message too. Quiet inflammation 4. Blood vessel inflammation. Let's talk about something most seniors never feel, but that affects nearly every organ: inflammation inside the blood vessels. This type doesn't cause pain. There's no warning signal, yet it plays a major role in heart disease, high blood pressure, stroke risk, and reduced circulation to the brain and muscles. Over time, inflamed blood vessels become less flexible and less responsive. You might notice cold hands or feet, dizziness when standing up, or fatigue during simple activities. These are often blamed on poor circulation, but inflammation is usually the root cause. For seniors, blood vessel inflammation means less oxygen reaching tissues that desperately need it, especially the brain and heart. That's why this type of inflammation accelerates aging across the entire body. What makes this especially dangerous is how long it can go unnoticed. Years, sometimes decades. You might already know cholesterol matters. It might even seem basic, but inflammation, not cholesterol alone, is the real driver. And when inflammation is reduced, the results are out of this world.
Later, I'll share the most overlooked daily habit that silently inflames blood vessels and how seniors can correct it gently and safely. For now, understand this: your blood vessels are not rigid pipes. They are living tissue, and they respond powerfully to how you live each day.
Quiet inflammation 5. Muscle inflammation and hidden weakness. Many seniors believe muscle loss is unavoidable, but what often gets ignored is chronic, low-grade muscle inflammation that accelerates weakness far beyond normal aging. This type of inflammation doesn't feel like soreness from exercise. Instead, it shows up as reduced strength, slower walking speed, and difficulty carrying everyday items. Over time, it can make simple tasks feel exhausting. Inflamed muscles don't repair efficiently. Even light activity can feel draining, not energizing. This leads many seniors to move less, which further increases inflammation, a quiet but powerful cycle. Muscle inflammation is closely tied to insulin resistance, poor protein absorption, and long periods of sitting. And here's something few people talk about: emotional stress also inflames muscle tissue. You might already know muscles need protein. It might even seem basic, but when inflammation is reduced, muscle response improves dramatically. The results are out of this world. Seniors who address this often regain confidence, balance, and stamina, sometimes within weeks. Muscle health isn't about lifting heavy weights, it's about creating a low inflammation environment where muscles can function again. Later, we'll connect this to the most effective senior-safe strategy for full-body inflammation reduction. Quiet inflammation 6. Hormonal inflammation after 60. After age 60, hormones don't disappear, but they do become more sensitive to inflammation. This creates what many experts call hormonal inflammation, and it affects both men and women. For women, this may show up as sleep problems, anxiety, hot flashes returning, or bone loss. For men, it often appears as low energy, reduced motivation, or increased belly fat. In both cases, inflammation disrupts hormonal signaling. The mistake many seniors make is thinking hormones fail because of age alone. In reality, inflammation blocks hormone receptors from working properly. The hormones may still be there, but the message doesn't get through. You might already know stress affects hormones. It might even seem basic, but when inflammation is lowered, hormone balance often improves naturally. The results are out of this world. This is why some seniors feel like themselves again after making simple inflammation-reducing changes without medication adjustments. Hormonal inflammation is subtle, but its effects are powerful, and it's closely linked to the next type, which almost everyone overlooks. Quiet inflammation 7. Inflammation from chronic stress. This one is personal for many seniors. Inflammation driven by long-term emotional stress, loss, loneliness, caregiving, financial worry, or simply watching the world change. These experiences quietly inflame the body. Stress inflammation doesn't mean you feel anxious all the time. Sometimes it shows up as numbness, low motivation, or physical symptoms with no clear cause. The body stays in a low-level alert mode, releasing inflammatory chemicals day after day. For seniors, this type of inflammation weakens immunity, worsens pain, disrupts sleep, and accelerates cognitive decline. And because it's emotional, it's often dismissed or ignored. You might already know stress is unhealthy. It might even seem basic, but when seniors learn to calm the nervous system consistently, the results are out of this world. This is one of the most reversible types of inflammation and one of the most powerful to address. In a moment, I'm going to pause and ask something simple from you. Before we continue, I want to pause for just a second. If you're still watching right now, it means something here resonates with you. Maybe you recognize one of these quiet inflammations in your own life or in someone you love. So here's a gentle question. If you're still with me, type the number 1 in the comments below. No pressure, no obligation, just a small way to say, I'm here and this matters to me. This helps more seniors like you find this information, and it also tells me to keep making content that truly supports your health and independence. Now let's continue, because the next part connects all 7 types together and leads us towards the most effective solution. How these 7 inflammations connect. Here's what most health advice gets wrong. It treats inflammation as separate problems. Joints here, brain there, heart somewhere else. But in seniors, these 7 quiet inflammations are deeply connected. Gut inflammation feeds brain inflammation. Stress fuels hormonal imbalance. Poor circulation worsens muscle weakness. They form a loop, a silent network that accelerates aging when ignored, but slows dramatically when addressed correctly. You don't need extreme diets, you don't need exhausting workouts, you don't need fear, you need the right leverage point. You might already know parts of this, it might even seem basic, but when everything aligns, the results are out of this world. And in the next sections, especially the special method between segments 17 and 18, I'll show you the most optimized, senior-safe way to calm inflammation at its root. Stay with me, the most important insight is still ahead. Why seniors are told this is normal aging. One of the most painful things seniors hear is this sentence, "That's just normal aging." It sounds harmless, even comforting, but for many people over 60, 70, or 80, it quietly shuts the door on hope. The truth is, no one says out loud, aging itself does not automatically cause chronic inflammation. Inflammation comes from signals the body receives every single day. What you eat, how you move, how you sleep, and how safe your nervous system feels. When doctors are rushed, symptoms get separated and labeled. Joint pain becomes arthritis, fatigue becomes low energy, brain fog becomes senior moments. But the root cause is often the same inflammatory fire burning quietly underneath. You might already know that lifestyle matters. It might even seem basic. But when seniors finally address inflammation instead of symptoms, the results are out of this world. This isn't about blaming yourself. Many of today's seniors were never taught how food, stress, and movement interact with inflammation. The system wasn't built for prevention, it was built for reaction. But knowledge is power. And once you understand that inflammation is modifiable, something changes emotionally. Fear softens, control returns, and health stops feeling like a mystery. This is where real hope begins, not with denial, but with clarity. The hidden cost of ignoring quiet inflammation. When quiet inflammation is ignored, it doesn't stay quiet forever. Over time, it drains resilience. Recovery takes longer. Small illnesses hit harder. A minor fall becomes a major setback. Many seniors don't decline suddenly, they decline gradually, then suddenly realize how much has been lost. What hurts most is that this decline feels inevitable.
People stop planning trips, stop saying yes to invitations, stop trusting their bodies. Inflammation slowly shrinks life. But here's what research and real-life experience both show. Seniors who reduce inflammation don't just improve lab numbers, they regain confidence, they move with less fear, they engage with life again. You might already know someone who aged fast in their 70s and someone else who stayed vibrant into their 80s or 90s. The difference is rarely genetics alone. It's inflammation management. It might even seem basic, but the results are out of this world. This is why we're taking our time in this video, because awareness is the first intervention. When you understand what's happening inside your body, you stop fighting yourself and start supporting yourself. In the next part, we'll talk about what doesn't work so you don't waste precious energy on the wrong solutions.
Why quick fixes fail seniors. Many seniors are promised quick fixes, a supplement, a pill, a superfood. And while some tools help, inflammation is not solved by shortcuts. The body after 60 responds differently. Aggressive fasting, intense exercise, extreme diets, these often increase inflammation instead of calming it. Seniors don't need intensity, they need consistency and safety. Another mistake is chasing symptoms, taking something for joints, something else for sleep, something else for memory, without addressing the underlying inflammation that connects them all. You might already know this doesn't feel right. It might even seem basic. But when seniors stop chasing fixes and start calming systems, the results are out of this world. The body wants balance. When inflammation lowers, sleep improves naturally. Appetite regulates. Energy stabilizes. Mood lifts. This is not magic, it's physiology. In a moment, I'll ask for a stronger action from you, but first I want you to hear this clearly. You are not broken. Your body is responding exactly as it was designed to respond to inflammation. And that means it can respond just as powerfully to healing signals. At this point, I want to ask something meaningful. If you are realizing that quiet inflammation explains things you felt for years, if this video is giving you clarity instead of fear, then please type the number 2 in the comments below. Typing 2 tells the algorithm this matters, but more importantly, it tells other seniors they are not alone. And if this video is helping you, consider subscribing, liking, and sharing it with someone you care about. One small action can change how someone else experiences aging. Now, let's move forward, because we're about to talk about what actually works: the senior body's natural anti-inflammatory power. Here's something beautiful about the human body. Even after 80, it has built-in anti-inflammatory systems. The problem is they need the right environment to function. Deep sleep is anti-inflammatory. Gentle movement is anti-inflammatory. Feeling safe and calm is anti-inflammatory. When these systems are supported, healing accelerates. Seniors don't need to push harder, they need to remove what blocks healing. You might already know sleep matters. It might even seem basic, but when sleep, movement, and calm align, the results are out of this world. This is why seniors who focus on nervous system regulation often see improvements across multiple conditions at once. Now we're ready for the most important part. The real goal isn't longevity, it's quality. Living longer isn't the goal. Living better is. Quiet inflammation steals quality before it steals time. It takes joy out of mornings, confidence out of movement, and clarity out of thinking. But when inflammation is reduced, something shifts emotionally. Seniors feel more present, more capable, more themselves. This is what true health looks like, not perfection, but participation in life. And now I'm going to share the most optimized senior-safe method to calm inflammation at its root. Here it is, the most effective, evidence-aligned approach for seniors. Daily nervous system regulation combined with gentle metabolic balance. Not extreme diets, not intense workouts. This means eating in a way that avoids blood sugar spikes, moving gently every day to signal safety to joints and muscles, and creating daily moments of calm breathing to turn off stress inflammation. This method works because inflammation is not just physical, it's neurological. You might already know parts of this. It might even seem basic, but when applied consistently, the results are out of this world. This is the leverage point, the place where everything changes. Here's the one point I want you to remember. Aging does not cause inflammation. Inflammation accelerates aging, and that means aging can slow down dramatically. If you stay curious, gentle with your body, and consistent with calming signals, your future can look very different from what you were told to expect. In the next video, I'll show you exactly how to apply this method, step by step, safely, simply, and specifically for seniors over 60, 70, and even 80. Stay with me. Your best years may still be ahead.